Now this is what I call a full house. It was hard to find an empty seat, but considering that it's a basketball game in Ethity, this is normal. Number 1 Wind River at number 5 Wyoming Indian, first quarter. Wyoming Indian wearing the white. John Sounding Sides drives right through the lane like no one was there. That got the scoring started. Chiefs lead 2-0. This game had a lot of offensive fireworks, but the defense would snuff out a few here and there. Tyson Lone Bear, oh my goodness, that was a swat. Wind River has been announcing their presence to the state all season so far. Let's get back to the offense. You'll see a lot of this on both sides. Roger Wagon, Roger for 3, 23 points for the junior. The Cougars take a 3-2 lead, but that did not last long. Joseph Howell will fake one defender and score the first 2 of his 16 points, and the Chiefs go back up 4-3. A lot of players got in the act on this game. Ward Gordon with a long ball, and it's been a few years since the last time the team from Pavilion was this good. They lead 6-4. This is the championship game of the Fremont County Shootout, and it's also a non-conference game between the 2A Southwest Division rivals. Alvin Spoonhunter strikes for 3 of his 27, and Wiss is only down 8-7. The Chiefs were on the warpath early on. The first shot won't go, but Joey Aragon's putback will drop. The score is knotted up at 12, but we're just getting started. Skipping ahead a little bit, Wyoming Indian is trying their new floor this season, and so far they like it, especially Spoonhunter, because the sophomore can shoot threes with the best of them, and his team goes out 20-12. Sometimes you just got to throw the ball up there and rely on your skill to get it into the hoop. That's what Sounding Sides did on this play. 29 points for the senior, and the home team is out 23-12 at this point. I don't know what the Chiefs' shooting percentage was in this game, but it was pretty good. Spoonhunter swishes one from the free throw line, and his team was looking good, up 26-15 after the first 8 minutes. Second quarter, they'd keep the pressure on for a little while. It took a couple of tries, but Sounding Sides finally got the 2 for his team, and they were in command, up 29-16. But Sounding Sides was not done. He'll get himself a backcourt steal and an even bigger prize. 5 points in 5 seconds, and that would finish off a 22-4 run for Wiss, who now have the score doubled up at 32-16. But then Wind River would get to work and make a 16-point deficit look like nothing. Wagon is hiding behind the crowd, but we saw him, and everyone saw that 3. However, the boys in black still had work to do, trailing 32-21. Let's get someone else in here. This is Jesse Brown for the Cougars, and what can Brown do for you? Well, 2 points is good for starters. 16 points in this game for the senior. His team still down 32-23. The visitors were on the prowl, and Lone Bear was ready to pounce, and he would big time on this 3. They're starting to get closer. The scoreboard reads 34-26. Wind River has a new coach, and the team has responded. Wagon's firing from NBA range, and the wheels are staying on this team. The deficit's down to 5. It's a 34-29 ball game right now. Here comes more. This time it's 3 the old-fashioned way. Lone Bear with the hoop, the whistle, and the spill. He would convert, and his team is right back at this game, down 36-34. Wyoming Indian was not too pleased with what was going on and tried to respond. Sounding Sides would relieve the pressure a little bit with that long ball. That made the score 39-34, but the opposition just kept on coming. Wagon, 3, got it. Wind River's shooting numbers were pretty good as well, and they trailed 39-37. They were fighting fire with fire, and it was working. Wagon with another gas can, boom. The Cougars were breathing down their arch rival's neck. It's 41-40. They were not done, not by a long shot, but Brown is putting up a long shot of his own. Wind River was feeling it and would close the half with a 34-10 run and led 50-42 going into the locker room. I told you there was not many empty seats available, but when you got a good game going on, who needs seats? Third quarter, the boys in black kept trying to pour it on. Gordon takes the assist and deposits another 2 points to give his team a 9-point cushion, 54-45. Wiss needed a new plan of attack, and they would get on it. The first shot won't go, but Wilson Clifford was there to clean up the mess and put it away. Chiefs still down 54-47. Later, the inside game was starting to pay dividends. Howell gets the offensive board and put back. It did not take long for the Chiefs to get within 1 point, trailing 56-55. We need something a little different in these highlights. Sounding Sides and, well, forget I said that. Let's just go back to the original plan. It was getting the job done. Moving ahead, you could tell somewhat that the crowd was starting to get into this game. Aragon takes advantage of the turnover and gets the finish, and last year's 2A state runner-ups are back in the lead, 58-56. Of course, getting the lead is one thing, hanging onto it is something else, as both teams have learned. Spoonhunter finds 3 more, and the Chiefs have found the rhythm, up 64-58. Both teams were trying to step up their game in order to finish 2011 on a good note, but sometimes they overdid it. Sounding Sides misses the dunk, and the putback try is no good either. Wind River would take advantage of the situation. Wagon with another 3, and he'll nail it. Lucky for his team, they were only down by 4, 65-61. The visitors were still hanging around. Wagon, again, from way downtown. He had the hot hand. The Cougars were keeping pace, down 67-66. But the Chiefs were able to hold the opposition at bay for a while. Sounding Sides is at the top of the key, and he'll open the door for 3. That made the score 71-66. But the three-point parade was just getting started for the home team. Aragon is open in the corner, and he's causing trouble, and the fans could sense it. Wiss is up 74-66. Wyoming Indian was doing no wrong at this point, and they were shooting lights out. Aragon, check it out and ring it up. The home team has reestablished that double-digit lead, and we're up 77-66 going into the final 8 minutes. Fourth quarter, the Chiefs just kept doing their thing because they were in control. Aragon lights up another one, and things were starting to get out of hand with the score at 82-66. If you have not figured out by now, Wiss was on a run, and so was Clifford on this play. This fast break lay-in would polish off a 17-zip spurt to push the score up to 84-66. Wind River gave it a good effort, but it was becoming obvious that they were not going to win this battle. But Lone Bear would serve notice that the war is far from over. The two teams still have to play at least 2 more times this season. Round 1 would go to the Chiefs, but they were still thirsty for a few more points. Nice ball movement as Howell will get the finish. That got the score into the 90s, and they were going for the century mark. They still had a little time left and 1 more 3 left in them, courtesy of Sounding Sides, but Coach would sub in the JVs before Wiss could reach 100. Chief fans were chanting for a new number 1 ranked team. Maybe. Final score, 98-79.